Happy Tuesday to you. Happy TMJ Tip Tuesday to you. My name is Andrea Oram. If you are new around here, welcome. I'm so glad you are able to tune in live. If you are live, if you are watching the replay, you can comment #replay or say hi or whatever you want to do. Whatever works for me. I'd love to connect with you and see who is hanging out with me today. But today our topic is why a splint is good, but not enough. And you're probably like, okay, if you're new to this journey, you're like, what is that? And you have probably all these questions, right? And that's okay. Your first question might be, wait a second, why are you, a music teacher, talking about jaw stuff or TMJ? TMJ is temporomandibular joint. It's the joint that is called your jaw. Well, that's the fancy name for it, the scientific name for it. And you're probably like, well, why are you talking about this? Well, I'm talking about this because I dealt with daily jaw pain for about 5 years during college and a little bit after. And I am thankfully have closed the door to that chapter of my journey very purposefully and through a lot of trial and error and research because of some of the things I discovered that were really challenging about dealing with that specific issue during that time period of my life. And so I love to support people, whether they're singers, whether they're not teachers, whether they are neither of those things, who are dealing with this issue because it is really challenging and really hard. It was really hard when I was going through it because I felt alone. And I felt like the medical people were telling me one thing and the dental people were telling me another thing. And I didn't know who to listen to. And it was just a struggle for me. And so I want to be there for people who are dealing with this issue too. And I want to be able to help you, if that's you, not feel alone and give you a little bit of perspective on some of the things that I learned. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking about this specific thing. It's why I talk about it weekly on Tuesdays. It's why we have our TMJ Tip Tuesdays. So if you are new around here, that's a little bit of the why. And I'm so glad you are here. My friend Lydia, good morning to you. If you are also watching live like Lydia, you can comment and say hello. I love connecting with those who are saying hi. So good morning. But yes, so let's get into our topic for today. Why a splint is good, but it's not enough. And that's our weekly TMJ Tip Tuesday for this week. So a splint, for those of you who don't know, is a little bit like a retainer, but it's really thick. And there's a lot of different kinds. So the one that I have, it's really, really thick, and it has a flat surface on the bottom. And the design of it's designed so that if you are to wear it, whether you're wearing it during the day or at nighttime, it's designed so that you aren't able to actually bite down and hold a grip. It doesn't allow you to hold a clench, right? So if you were to close your mouth and hold really tight, your mouth would just slide around. You can't just hold a specific position. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if that doesn't make sense. I'll try and rephrase it another way. But the design for that particular one does that because it can help, and I'll clarify this in a second, but it can help with a bad habit of clenching or a specific reason why your body might be clenching. And this clenching could be during the day. This clenching could be at nighttime. It's also can deal sometimes with grinding. So people who grind their teeth at night, which can be really hard on your teeth, but it can also be really hard on your jaw. So those two things can be negatively impacted by that action, right? And so the reason why it's good, but it's just not enough is this. It's good because it's protecting your teeth. It's also good because it is protecting your joint itself if you are dealing with that grinding, clenching motion or action, right? And so when I first started using it, I used it in the daytime most of the time, really, because I had this really bad habit of clenching and grinding my teeth not grinding so much, but mostly clenching when I was stressed or when I was anxious or something like that. And so this was a multi-layer facet thing for me, and it really dug down to dealing with some of the anxiety and the stress that I was dealing with in that time of life. And when I was able to deal with that too, some of the causes of needing the splint were going away, right? So that's partly why a splint is good, but not enough, is because if there's underlying reasons why you're clenching and grinding, it's maybe going to deal with the protecting of your teeth and the protecting of your joint while you're wearing it, but it's not going to cure you of your clenching and grinding. It's not going to automatically make you stop doing those things. If there's an underlying reason why you're doing those things, you need to deal with that actual underlying reason. And then you can actually, figure out, okay, this is why I'm doing this and this is what I can do. There are lots of different ways once you figure out why you're doing it, you think, to then address why you're doing it and to then help you in that process. Does that make sense? So, like I said, there's a lot of different kinds of splints. I'm just talking about one specific instance. There are other kinds of splints that have your jaw in a certain position. If you're dealing with a positioning or like issues regarding your bite and all sorts of things. So I'm not a medical person. I'm not going to go into all that, but I do want to share that there can be physical reasons why it's not enough. There can be emotional and spiritual reasons why the splint is not good enough, and you need to dig deeper and figure out what is actually causing some of these issues. And then what can I do to help resolve those issues while using this as kind of almost like a Band-Aid fix or a help while you're dealing with the deeper root issues. Okay. So I know that sounds a little overwhelming if you are in the middle of pain, because I get it. It felt really overwhelming to me too, but that's not my hope for you. My hope for you is that it can feel like you have support and you have someone who's walking alongside you who's been there and done that. And I don't have all the answers because I'm not a medical professional, but I do have the answers that helped me. And I do have my own experience, and that can be really valuable. So I just want to encourage you that if you are feeling overwhelmed, I do this TMJ Tip Tuesdays weekly in this group here. I'm a music teacher, so I help and teach and mentor music teachers, but I also want to share from my heart for you guys. And there's a whole guide section in there for you just on TMJ Tip Tuesdays. So it has like a library of past ones that I've done. And if that would be helpful for you, go check out the group. The link's in the description of this video. If you need that, if you're already in the group, great. Go check out that guide section and see if you can get some help for you in that way. And if you're like, Andrea, I've seen some of those videos. I feel like I have learned a lot that goes with those, but I need to dig deeper. I need to dig into some more of the factors on what those underlying causes could be, because there are a lot. For me, there were like 7 or 8 that I learned about when trying to deal with the root issues of my own experience. And so I made a course just for that, to like dig deeper and to address some of those things so you can figure out for yourself what could be some of the challenges. The link is in the description of this video for that, if that would be useful for you. You can go check that out. If not, no big deal. Go check the guide section out in that group, and that would be useful for you. But I see some more comments. So if you have questions or want to share something in the comments, go for it. We're going to go through that for a second. Oh, my friend Lee again. Wow, that's interesting. I was going to ask when you use the splint. Yes, I used it for a while during the day and at night. And now I still have it, and I still wear it at night just because my retainers don't fit super well. And so just based on the alignment of my teeth, I prefer to use the splint over the retainers at this point, but I don't actually need it anymore. Does that make sense? So I'm not using it now based on need. I'm using it now based on protecting of teeth in case I were to grind again. But I'm in such a space, in a headspace and a emotional space in life, that I don't think I need that. So, and that's a beautiful thing. And I don't have the pain that I used to have. And so I know that that's part of that healing process, that healing journey that I've been on. And it's been such a blessing. So if you have questions, let me know in the comments. But I love connecting with you today, everybody. And I will catch you again next week for more TMJ Tip Tuesdays. And if you're a music teacher, see you tomorrow. Bye for now.